As the sunrise happens in Mazzano, the sunset happens in Zolder. As Frank Castle absolutely tags the wall. From humble beginnings, this is where it all started. This is where we come back once again. Hello and welcome to DRL ACC. As I've said before, we are live at Zolder. Frank Castle pulls into the pits. We will be hearing from him shortly. I have a wonderful guest with me today. He is the pro driver. He's currently sitting out due to injury. Neil Kerbel of the Springfield Motorsport. How are you today, good sir?
I am doing well. A little better than last week, but still not fit to race yet. But I should be back on track next week. Thanks for inviting me to help you out in the booth.
No problem. I always love getting drivers into the booth because it's always helpful to have a driver that knows kind of what the driver mindset is like. I can say, oh, he's probably thinking this, but when you have a driver that actually drives with these guys, you can figure out their mindset a lot better. So, with that being said, we are going to bring in a driver. He's actually brought himself. I'm quite surprised. I didn't have to bring him in here myself. It is Frank Castle of the Sandbag Syndicate. How are you today?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Haven't put any practice in, so we're expecting to be. Hopefully, we can make, 13th, 12th place today. But yeah, we're gonna hope for the best and try our best.
Stuff never changes with the Sandbag Syndicate. You're currently sitting in 6th, your teammate's sitting in 4th, so I think it's going fine just now. I think you can loosen the sandbags a little bit. You guys struggled a little bit at Massano. What are you expecting here at Zolder?
Misano was interesting. My pace definitely picked up during the course of the race, but for this track, the first track I ever raced in ACC. Hoping for some good things, like I said. No practice, but it's the track that I can be pretty consistent on, and even with the extra ballast, I think we should be able to both finish with a pretty consistent result as long as we're not collected in any incidents.
Neil, do you have any questions for Frank Castle?
I wish I prepared more. No, I don't. Maybe less of a question, more of a suggestion. Perhaps practice your pit entries a little bit more.
Did you just witness my practice pit stop?
Yes.
I did. I didn't know if that was like a emergency entry into the pits to join the commentator booth, but it was interesting.
Yeah, we were just limit testing. Now I found the limit, so we should be able to not replicate that.
All right. The only question I have for you is, who do you think is going to be your biggest rival on track right now?
The mid pack, it's looking like it's pretty close. We're all within like 5/10 of each other, and then obviously depending on if there's any incidents. But I think once again, my previous rivals, probably Rodriguez and Braun, will definitely be some contenders. I'm not too worried about the rest. I feel like if my consistency stays consistent, then I'll be able to pass some other inconsistent drivers.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Frank Castle. Thank you for joining us, and we good luck in the race.
Roger that. Take care.
All right. That was Frank Castle from the Sandbag Syndicate. Him thinking of a top 12 in this race, Kerbal, just makes me just a little erg as he sits there 6th place right now.
That means he's got 6 positions between him and his ideal position finishing the race, so he's got plenty of room.
So, as you said, you've been injured the last few weeks, so you haven't been able to race. But like, with a night race, what's the difference between a day race and a night race?
It's really feeling out your brake markers, because less visibility at night, you're really looking ahead of you just into your headlights. So knowing, or at least recognizing different brake markers, or just feeling out the track better, because you're really driving on instinct for the most part. I think last season you asked me that same question about, you know, the difference between night racing and which do I prefer, and I actually prefer night racing. It's a lot of fun. I also like seeing the aux lights on all the cars.
I agree. It's definitely an experience to watch these cars go through at the night, especially with the liveries that we have now for season 2, and how much
Oh
they
yeah.
sparkle and stuff like that. Like that Sandbag Syndicate livery, as much as they sandbag, holy crap, that thing's gonna sparkle in the lights around Zolder. Obviously, as it stands right now, if you take a look at the standings on the left-hand side of your screen, you will see that you obviously have the amateurs at the bottom. There's actually not a lot of programs so far this week. There's just Polinick, Hayes, and Hermati. So that's just the podium right there as it stands. But like, Powers, the new rookie sensation Power, your teammate, is ahead of both Stavko, Saniga, Macklin, all well-formed veterans of this track.
Just as you were saying that, Stavko just took
Yep.
provisional pole.
What? Where did you find Power?
Oh, me and him used to race back at 5FI Racing, or at least when I was racing at 5FI Racing. It was probably over a year ago now. And we just reconnected with one of their last championships. It was a GT2 championship, and I followed, like, me and him, like, within like tenths of each other from most of the races. And the last race, I ended up following him for 60 minutes. So we're very similar in pace. And he reached out and suggested that we should be teammates in this next season, and I was all for it.
Well, he's absolutely taken the lead by storm. He's gotten podiums in every race that he's been to so far. It's him, Ma, and you have just basically taken the lead by storm. It's insane. So, like,
Yeah.
congrats on getting a well-established rookie. He's going to be he's a hot prospect, especially with how he's doing right now, basically challenging the only two drivers to ever win a race in DRL history. So, I guess there's still...
Yeah, he's quick. And he's not even in his fastest car. He actually prefers the AMG. So seeing him in a Lambo is a little bit out of his comfort zone. So I'm sure he could go even faster than what he's doing now.
So with less than 7 minutes to go in the free practice session, we'll have a 15-minute qualifying session thereafter for the drivers. As actually, funny enough, Stavko did a 128 flat. Like, there's no number there. It's just a 128 hole. That's beautiful to see. So we'll have a 15-minute qualifying session and then a 45-minute race. There'll be a 5-minute intermission between the qualifying and the race to go over the grid order. So far, a projected 18 to 20 drivers so far for this race. So a few drivers currently out with injury or cannot make it due to their other previous events. So might be a short field for Zolder, but I'm sure that'll make up in terms of action because there's not really... You can go 2x2 in most of this track, but there's a few places, obviously, where the chicane where that could be difficult.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, specifically on the first lap, if a lot of drivers are really going to push the boundaries coming up to that first chicane.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of drivers, that is going to be their make it or break it race point on lap 1.
Now, I was talking to Burt Macklin about, is Brees in the pits? No, he's not. Okay, I was hoping he'd be in the pits because we have to pull him in at some point for his interview. I was hoping that, because I was talking to Macklin earlier and I was worried about track limits. He says, nah, it's only really the chicanes. But, like, the chicanes is where you make or break your time, at least according to what I've heard so far.
Yeah, it's where you slow down the most, so the more speed you can carry through those chicanes, the faster you'll be. And it's really, like, the chicanes on this track you have to hit almost perfectly, or else you lose time. It's basically like threading the needle, the term? Yeah. But
Yep.
you have to do that every single lap, and you have to do it in 2 chicanes that I'm aware of on this track. And in fact, how are you on the track turn names?
The track turn names I really don't know. I just pretty much go right now chicane 1, chicane 2, and chicane 3.
Okay.
And then kind of go from there. Because, like, you have chicane 1, then you have, like, a banked left-hander towards chicane 2, then the right hand, then 2 right-handers after chicane 2, and then you have the straight before 3, and then the straight after 3. So, names I'm not too fond of, but we'll just probably say sectors, middle of sector 3, end of sector 3.
Okay. I thought it'd be funny to see if like we can try pronouncing them, because I'm looking at the
I
names
would-
right now,
I-
and it's
that
like
would just be
I'm not
terrible.
even gonna try.
No, neither am I. It's
Like, I
not
know the
worth
second
it.
chicane is called Villa Venue, but I only know that because I've heard somebody else call it that. I don't
That
know if that's
is
exactly what it's called.
a very interesting name. Funny enough, actually, now that I'm looking at, like, obviously, with less than 4 minutes to go, free practice almost over, you're getting drivers that are coming out for their laps. I'm actually going to stop myself and nab. Oh, no, Breeze is in his chat that I don't have access to. So.
Do you want me to send him a message?
With 4 minutes left, there's honestly no point. It
Okay.
would kind of be rushed. Kind of needed to
You
get
can
him.
do a post-qualifying interview with him.
I mean, I could. If you want to message him about that, you can. And then
I'm on it.
get back to me about that. McGavin just joined, so we do have 18 now confirmed. So there's 5 Pro-Am, 8 Pro, and like 5 amateurs. So that'll be a good spread across the field. Shez and Fossman and the Pretty Pickles are kind of running the amateur division as it stands right now. Currently out on track, you have Spencer Braun, also known as Blendon, from last season, Kevin Polinick, Don Fossman, Malott, and Ricky Bobby, as well as the
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Palaniuk does this round. I watched him at Misano, and he's actually picked up his pace considerably since Season 1.
Narati is the lowest pro right now. That's a little unexpected from him. He's normally pretty consistent. Normally he's probably like 5th, 4th among the pros, so it'll be interesting to see with the additions of Power, you and Ma, but you and Ma don't seem to be racing as of right now, as of this moment. It'll be interesting to see how he'll go about here. Maybe he just was, who knows, maybe he's taking a page out of the Sandbagger Syndicate and holding off from qualifying. Or free practice.
Yeah, holding his cards close to his chest, that way we don't know what his pace is.
Have you done that yet before in a free practice session where you kind of go like half in, half out?
No. I have one speed.
And it's
I can only go, yeah, I can only go a certain speed in this game, and like me hiding it is not really going to be helpful, and it also means that I'm not getting practice in to build up that muscle memory. So like, I am consistent, but I'm not as fast as other drivers.
That's the one which is, oh, he's just gonna go right into the pits. I saw him go straight on. I'm like, did he just miss the chicane? But nope, he is going right into the pits.
Pulling off to the left.
And Ricky Bobby, Malott, and Brown's currently sitting in the pits. So all we have left is the bottom 2 with Malott and Bobby. Shinra Gavin has left the server. Hopefully he'll be able to come back for qualifying. As Ricky Bobby will be the only one that can do another timed lap if he so decides. As the checkered flag will come out for the no, Malott's not going to make it. Not even close. Nope, he's not making it. And that will be it for the free practice session. Ricky Bobby is the only one on a timed lap. He can continue that timed lap as long as he stays within track limits. So far, he's doing very, he's not gaining any time heading down into chicane number 1. Supporting him That second curb I found when I drove this track was very easy to gain a little bit of air as he heads now into chicane number 2.
Yeah, that second curb on the inner right will bounce your car more than the curb on the inner left.
He's finding quite a bit of time. He's finding about 4/10 right now. You want to stick as close to that inside curb as you can. Heading up the right-hander.
And then right there, you want to brake around the 100-meter board.
The only board I see is the 100-meter. He's gained quite a bit of time as he heads now down the first straight, down towards the third and final chicane. For me, this one was the most tricky because it's like, oh, and he invalidates. And that brings us to the qualifying session. And Castle, who's going to be the first one out? Who's going to have the dubious honor? It's not your teammate. Who made it out first? Is that going to be Burt Macklin? Ah, yes, it is going to be Burt Macklin.
Macklin's leading the pack.
Macklin, Power, Nairati. Your teammate's name is so punnable. It's funny.
I mean, it's a great name, Max Power.
Max Power, evidently.
I mean, this league actually has a lot of great names.
Yep, Ricky Bobby, Shooter McGavin,
Burt Macklin, Frank Castle. Come on, iconic.
Power through the castle walls. Shooting that castle down. Brain over brawn.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've said that one a few times.
This is why they pay you the big bucks, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Totally get paid. Alright, with Macklin being the first out, and now the first out by a very wide margin, as I think that was Shooter that had a moment there, or 93, that would have been Rodriguez. We will ride on board with Macklin. So now that I have a driver that'll actually can explain a hot lap, why don't you take us through a hot lap here?
Alright, so this upcoming left-hand turn, you kind of want to brake a little bit before this board up above, turn the car in and kind of graze and go wide on the exit. Then I was telling Power, there's a Marshall hut on the left there, it's white, you kind of brake around that point, tilt the car in and let it wash wide here. Right here, you want to brake on that road runoff, drop it into third, turn the car in and power out. You want to get as much speed on this straight as you can. And then, depending on the car, usually it's around that light post on the right after the 100-meter board. You brake and then you trail the car in. You want to graze a little bit of left and almost take none of the right, but with the AMG, you can probably take a little bit more than most. Here, left-hand side, when the border is changing from gray to red or orange and gray, you can brake. Then you kind of dance the car through that chicane track limits. It's really hard to tell, but basically you're trying to straighten the car as much as you possibly can through that chicane. With that hairpin, brake around the 100-meter board and pull the car in, and then graze a little bit of the curb on the inner right. And then here, another light post on the right, turn the car in, short shift, some cars short shift here into first, and then right as you're going on the exit, that right-hand turn, you can upshift into second, and just not over-rotate your car. That's a lap.
129.3 for Macklin, eclipsed by your teammate with a 129.8. Roddy will be next across the line. He is 1.3 seconds behind. Armani 1.5, Braun 2.1. As all the drivers now cross the line. Some of them valid, some of them not. So you got 4/10 behind your teammate now as well.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing Suniga out there and really struggling to get grips with that Honda. I've driven it myself, and it is one of those cars that is incredibly fun to drive, but at a moment's notice, it'll just snap on you, and you'll lose control, and you'll never get it back.
Ooh, Don Fossman up into 7th currently as it stands right now. Credit Castle, Polinick, Leung, and McGavin also. Stavko have not done a lap yet. Stavko's still in the pits.
It's like Macklin, Oh no, he invalidated on that. He had a little wiggle coming out of the second chicane.
Yep, Power's finding around a 10th. Nairadi's finding about 2/10, but he's also invalidated.
That's another one to watch out for, is Nairadi. He's really good at qualifying. So I'm interested to see if he's able to get in like the top 3.
He definitely has that qualifying pace. He has that opportunity where he can just pull a lap straight out of the hat and just surprise everybody as your teammate's going to find an extra 10th.
Yeah, I remember Silverstone last season. Like, I thought I was doing really good, and then he basically blasts my my lap by 6/10. I was like, how does he find that time?
Saniga finds 2/10, but not enough to get past your teammate. He's still holding strong. Polinick pops it into the top 5. Hayes is going to be next across the line. No improvement from him. Next across the line is going to be Sean Ches of the Pretty Pickles. Doesn't look like he's going to find any improvement. Reese will be next with improvement. He's finding about 6/10. He's slowly losing it on exit, so he'll drop to about 5 and 5/10. He'll move up into 14th. Next driver going to be across the line with a valid lap time will be Shooter McGavin. With some improvement. He's improving about 4/10, dropping down to 3. Must have not had a very good exit.
Yeah, looks like Shooter McGavin is up 3/10 right now.
As he heads into the third and final chicane. Honestly,
It's a good exit right there.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a very nice exit. He'll find an extra like 0.5 there, and that will propel him up into the top 5. Next across the line will be Macklin. This time not having invalidated, and is finding about 3. Oh my goodness, he nailed that final chicane. He gained about 3/10 from it, but it's still not gonna be enough to pass Power. His Power will add a little bit more extra time, but not enough. Nairadi has also found about 3/10 on the exit. That'll push him over Frank Castle. Hermione will next across. Oh my goodness, crossing fast and furious. Saniga now also within a 10th of your teammate, but not enough. Polinick almost gets past McGavin as they fight tooth and nail right now. Hayes also pops it into the top 5. And that would have been Malott. Malott is now 15th. Next across the line is going to be Ches. Not much improvement there. As we have who's that with a 4 on the end? Is that Stofko? Stofko's beginning his lap now with a whole bunch of traffic behind him. So the top 3 separated by a 10th and a bit. Hayes 6/10 back of that gap. Holy jumping.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch Stofko. I wanna see. He did fastest lap in practice, so see what he's able to do in qualifying.
Nairadi had about 3/10, but now he's down to about 1.5 and still dropping. Oh, he got a good exit out of there, so he's up to about 3. Currently, that would put him into the top 5 as it stands right now. You need to find an extra 2/10 if he wants to get past Hayes. He's not going to find the extra 2/10, but he's going to gain enough lap time to put himself 5th. Hermione gets up into the top 10. Saniga can't seem to find the lap time just yet. Neither can Braun. Polinick.
Saniga's.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Saniga's making good time at the right after the finish line. Those first few corners, he's able to gain a 10th, but then he loses it right after that on the first chicane. It's just he's losing time in the second sector.
Ches pops himself 13th. Breeze next across the line is a black and orange flag comes out. Breeze actually doesn't have his lights on, so that's why he's getting a black and orange flag. Next across the line with a valid lap time will be the shooter of McGavin. He's currently sitting at about around a 10.5 gain. Maybe he can find a little bit more extra time. Put himself into this very tight pack from 5th to 7th. Also, Frank Castle's put himself best of the rest, currently 4th, sandbagging my beautifulness as McGavin pushes down Nairadi and Braun. That midfield pack really starting to burn each other.
Yes, I mean, this just gives Castle 8 more positions before he, his 12th place finish.
I know it's early in the lap. Well, it's actually getting later in the lap, but Hayes is finding about 4/10 right now. Can he hold on to it through this final chicane? He's going to lose a little bit of time. He'll get about 2.5 tenths. It won't be enough to catch Castle, but it'll be enough to pad his lead on both McGavin and Irati. Sanchez will find some more. Sanchez will find some more time, almost putting himself into the top 10. Stavko finally is going to set a lap and be ahead of your teammate by only a tenth.
Yeah.
Rodriguez will find about 5 tenths, put himself 12th.
Ooh, take a look at Fossman. He was up 5 tenths, but it looks like he's dropping a little bit.
No, he's also invalidated too, so.
Yep, okay.
McGavin, though, has found a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, 6 tenths.
6 tenths, that will put him ahead of Castle if he can hang on to it. Yes, he does. Puts himself into the top 5. As now with 5 minutes left to go in qualifying. Wow, qualifying sure goes quick here. Drivers are fighting for every little bit of time they can find.
Looks like Castle's up 2 tenths right now.
Still in the lap. London will find an extra 1/10 and a half and get past Nairati. Rodriguez is following Breeze right now, countering a little bit of traffic.
If Castle does hold this will put him in 5th and push down Shooter McGavin into 6th. Oh no, he just lost it.
As traffic
He
gets
was
a little tighter and tighter.
Yeah, he was at 3 tenths.
Well, Castle will have another lap to try and find that time. Burt Macklin also can't seem to find that time, not just yet. Your teammate also seemed to not being able to find that time yet. As all these drivers, I think the drivers have enough time. Yep, they have time for 2 more laps. As your teammate goes next across the line. No improvement from him just yet. Stavko is finding a lot more time though. He's almost found 4 extra tenths.
Yeah, if you're watching him, do you see how much of the curb he takes?
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
Saniga's finding that time too.
Like you're dangerously coming close to track limits there, and it's really hard to tell where they are when you're coming up to it.
Macklin is on and off. It's time to quickly get into the pits and get out. As Saniga comes across the line and adds more time to his lead. Power now 6 tenths behind. And that might be unobtainable. That might be pole. As Brees finds a little bit more time with a 1:30.8. I do believe that's a personal best for him. As he now goes up into 14th. Next across the line will be Saniga. He's currently does not have the time, so he will have one last lap to try and get it right. So will your teammate. This will be his last lap to try and get it right. Finding 6 tenths though is going to be insane. And an absolutely insane reach.
Yeah, that's quite the ask.
The Latvian sensation Hermani getting ready to come next across the line. He'll have another lap to try and find more time, but he's found 3 tenths. And he will almost get ahead of Nairati, but he'll push Polonic down to get into the top 10. Spencer Braun getting ready to start his final flying lap. I think anyone up to Saniga and Power might have an opportunity to run another lap should there be a problem. Hermani bails out of his lap, so he's done for qualifying. Sean Chez, is he's finding any improvement? He's finding very minimal time. If he does gain, it's just to increase his lead on Brees. He can go again if he so pleases. Stavko enters the pits. He's confident his session is done. Ricky Bobby crosses the line to start his next flying lap. So does Brees, and so does Nairati.
Yeah, Nairati will be the last one to be doing a qualification.
Everyone in the top 8 has pit, so they don't think there's any time to improve. Nairati just needs to find about a 10th and a half to get past Braun. So, Stavko has pole. That's safe to say. We can probably lock that in. Unless Nairati seems to find a 2nd and a half somewhere on this track.
I think it'll be in the chicanes if he can hit it just right. Now he's done.
He's bailed out of his lap. Brees is the only one that's currently, I think, still. Oh nope, he's also out. So who's left that still has a valid lap?
Rodriguez and Palaniuk.
Rodriguez, but
Rodriguez is oh no, he's invalidated.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm surprised the session didn't end. But either way, he crosses the line. And Stavko gets pole position, followed by Power, Saniga, Macklin, and Sheer McGavin, rounding out the top 5. Ooh, the nighttime as the livery lights come on.
Yeah, this looks nice. Also, Breeze is in the lobby if you want to pull him in.
Okay, he was good with it?
Yeah, he was good with it. He gave me the thumbs up.
Okay, sounds good. So, Breeze, sorry we couldn't get you.
Hello.
Sorry we couldn't get you in practice. You went out on track, and then there was 4 minutes, and then I looked in the lobby, and you were in your race chat, and I'm like, oh, crap. So, I'll try and make this quick. You are currently sitting 15th. Is that where you wanted to be or expected to be?
No, I was hoping to be a little bit higher, but we got a real good group of guys here, so it's always a tight battle.
So, what are you hoping or expecting off the race start?
To have the best race start that I possibly can.
I mean,
Whether that's places or not, I just hope to nail the start.
Fair enough. I can't say I blame you there. Obviously, Fossman and Chiz are ahead of you. Ricky Bobby and Malott are behind you. Are you hoping for a race win here in the amateur division?
Hoping for one. We'll see what happens by the end of the race, though. It's a short track, so the times are always fairly close together.
All right, my friend, you can head back to your lobby or your respective chat. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy the broadcast, boys.
All right, that was Brees. He's off back to Team On the Rest chat, and now we will go through the grid order as it stands right now. Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful shot of the MA70 Esports Aston Martin of Stavko sitting on pole position. Your teammate Neil giving him company in P2 on the front row. Another great qualifying by the rookie. Saniga, currently sitting 3rd in his Honda, has been complaining about it all weekend long, but sure enough, I might as well join the he's got a Sandbag Syndicate for company. I think that's where he got his complaining from. Currently, Burt Macklin sitting 4th. Shinner McGavin sitting 5th in the Shake and Bake, a good highest Pro-Am qualifier so far. Let's see how well he can handle the pros, as he's got Frank Castle for company, another Sandbag Syndicate, 12th, 15th. He's 6 positions higher than his ideal position. So let's see if he can finish 12th by the end of the race. Jason Hayes in his Baby Pig Racing currently sits right now in 7th place. A good qualifying for him. Braun finishes ahead of Nairati, currently in 8th. He, in his lovely McLaren, currently he literally just looks like the Braun F1 car. Nairati currently sitting 9th. Tough qualifying for him, but he's not the lowest pro. He's the 2nd lowest pro. He's got the Latvian Sensation for company. They came into contact before. I think it was at the Red Bull Ring. They had a little bit of a scuffle, but neither driver was the worse for there in that one. All right, Rodriguez of the American Stooges currently sits in 11th, joined by Polinick and his Polarin on 12th. Fossman and Chez keep themselves company 13th and 14th. The Party Pickles having a front row lockout in the amateur division. Breeze, we had him on earlier, has Ricky Bobby for company. Currently 15th and 16th. Malott currently stands on his own. Leon also stands along on his own. 17th and 18th respectively. Now, on a formation lap, Neil, what goes through your head when you go through a formation lap?
It's really knowing the other cars near you, and if you're familiar with those drivers, knowing like if they pressure corners or push off the start line, just kind of having that mindset like, are they going to pressure me, is helpful. But really, it's putting your car where it's supposed to be in the grid order and making sure you get a good launch right when those lights turn green.
Now, normally you're at the front of the grid with everybody else. You're not normally in the middle. If you're in power spot right now, do you attack Stavko off the race start, or do you defend from Zuniga?
With the gap between my teammate and Stavko, I would not pressure that driver. I would probably put my car in a defensive position against Zuniga just so he doesn't get the jump or the inside of that first corner, because that's going to be where he'll probably take the lead. So that would be, at least in my mindset, what I would be focusing on.
Well, as the drivers slowly begin their formation lap roll, they'll go side by side, double file, all the way up to, oh, someone had a late start there. I think that was Macklin, or that was definitely one of the drivers having a late start, so all the drivers are currently rushing as they all go off into the gravel, as they'll all line up side by side, one by one. This is a great shot here. Grab your favorite beverage. The green flag waves now.
Go, go, go.
And now we race. DRL ACC is underway. Saniga, I think they're going to go 3 right. Oh, Power actually takes the lead right now off the race start. Currently, as it stands, it seems everyone gets through okay. Looking at the back of the field, no one seems to be the worse for wear. Breeze kind of glitching everywhere so far. Macklin has actually fallen, and Macklin's fighting Saniga quite heavily. Fossman Braun actually had a little bit of an incident. He's fallen all the way back. Currently down into 15th. Breeze all the way up into 12th. 3 places gained for him. As they all now head down into the first chicane, if there are going to be any aggressive moves by any of the drivers. Yeah, everyone seems to be going so... Ooh, Breeze having a little bit of a moment, and there's contact by Breeze as there was a little bit of a collection. Breeze actually doesn't seem to be the worst for wear out of that instance. It actually is Ricky Bobby and Don Bossman who seem to be the worst for wear out of that situation. As Power and Stavko are going to fight into the right-hander as Stavko goes to the outside. Power takes the inside. Side by side they go. They're going to go into the third chicane. Is Stavko going to late break here? Maybe get a little bit of power, as he definitely late breaks and goes a little deep. Can Power get a better exit? Ooh, a little bit into the grass. That might hurt him on exit. As Power gets into the slipstream of Stavko. And it looks like Stavko will take the lead of this race as of right now. As Shinner McGavin gets real close to Burt Macklin. And Nairati has taken a tumble. He's all the way down at 15th. What happened there as we were watching?
May I go take a look?
Nope, contact between Hermione and Nairati. That's why they're both down there as we stay ahead with the leaders. Brees and Braun are fighting it out right now as they head into the right-hander going towards... Oh, Breeze is glitching. He's getting a little bit more prominent as we stay with Braun. So we'll keep an eye on that. Currently, the gap currently between Power and Stavko within a second. So you got Power within a second. Ricky Bobby's on the back of Nairati. As soon as we get a little bit more gap between everyone else, we'll go see what happened between Nairati and Hermione. As there was
Looks like
contact.
Braun is chasing Shez. Looks like he's making the overtake on the inside of the hairpin.
Yep,
Going
just
side by side.
caught the edge of that. We're currently live on that. Maybe a little bit of a squeeze by the party pickle there on the Braun, but so far everything stays fine. Ooh, Shez late braking goes down way deep. Careful on the re-entry, my good man, as Breeze will inherit a position from that. As Shez, ooh, is that? Oh, I saw an MAC 70. I thought it was Stalfco. Nope, it is Leon. As Leon gets ahead of Chez. An all-important battle there in the back, kind of midfield area. Narati gonna try his best to try and catch up there. But currently, as it stands, Brees, Leon, and Chez are all finding it out right there.
Another battle to take a look at. Gavin behind Castle, about 5/10 off.
Yep, staring at it right now as we will get out of the helicam. Move over to the TVT cam.
Leon is making some moves on Breeze.
Chez is also sitting there waiting. They're soon going to have the company of Naradi and Bobby who are catching up quite quickly.
I'll stick with Leon if you wanna wander around the field.
Nope, we're still good right now. This is the closest battle. Actually, no, Hermione on Malot's going to come into effect quite quickly here. Currently, as Hermione heads as they head up to the top of the hill right-hander, Fossman also getting a little bit interested in this battle as well. Malot just trying to run away from both Hermione and Fossman.
Looks like Chez is trying to take the fight back to Leon. He's about 3/10 off right now.
Keeping an eye on it. Hermione might go for the inside move here on the lot, and does so without a little bit of contact, maybe as well as Hermione goes incredibly deep. Will lose both lose positions to Malott and Fossman on that. Rodriguez right on the back of Hayes too, as we switch over to that quite quickly. As the top 7 gain separation. Currently, as it stands right now, we have close battles everywhere on the track. Nairadi's going to catch up to this Chez Leon Breeze situation very quickly. He's going to look to try and gain all that time, try and get back ahead to Braun, who was battling with him earlier. Here on the inside, just after chicane number 2. Oh my goodness, Breeze is all over the place right now. As Hermione,
I think this. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, just Hermione completing the overtake. Young actually is going to go around. I think I'm going to go on the outside of Breeze here. Yup. It looks like he's completed that overtake, but I don't think Breeze is going to let that go very. Looking a little bit insane-o here. Roddy and Chez got to be careful here. A little bit of extra defense from 3. Oh my goodness. Any close battles anywhere else? Nope. This is the battle. This is the one we want to stick with as of right now. This is
Sean Chez side by side with Breeze coming down to that last chicane.
Yep, and I think Chez is going to be able to. Yep, absolutely he is. Oh, he actually, no, he went wide. He actually took some track limits, so that'll actually allow Breeze the opportunity to fight. Breeze looks like he's made it ahead as he disappears slowly, bit by bit. This is what Nairati currently sees. He sees a party pickle in front of him and his teammate just disappearing into the night and coming back like a ghost.
I think the stewards are having the steward posts are having some issues with this too. They're like waving blue flags and black flags, like they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think they're having a little bit of a moment themselves. The voodoo wizardry of that team on the rush coming into full display. As Braun's going to be right on the back of Polinick as Nairati actually goes into the pits. That is an interesting call.
Yeah, was that's considered an undercut?
But an undercut almost 10 minutes in?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's having problems. Is he flashing his blinkers?
Quickly go.
I think so. Maybe
No,
this is just an undercut.
I mean, he does have his hazards on, but I can't tell if that's because of Grace's issues or if that's because of just his own issues.
It didn't look like his car had any damage, so I mean, we'll see if this undercut pays off.
Oh, as Grace goes a little bit off the track, can't get in position. He was behind. He also doesn't have his lights on, so that's another little bit of a problem.
Yeah, and I think the game is supposed to disqualify you if you do 3 laps while being black flagged, so I don't know what's happening there.
Neither do I. As Nairati completes his pit stop, he's coming out, so he's doing the undercut of all undercuts, and unlike F1, there is no safety car, so you have to make it up on your pace alone.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off. I know sometimes drivers will pit early if their tire temperatures are wrong at the start of the race. That way they can go in, get a new fresh set of tires that are correctly pressurized, and then they can actually drive consistently the rest of the race. But it does put you somewhat at a disadvantage later on.
Malot's going to try and look for the overtake on Bobby here. Braun's also potentially going for an overtake on Polinick.
Yeah,
so,
0.3 behind Polinick right now.
So you have Bobby, Malott, Hermione, and Fossman all battling it out here for a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on them as we have a nice 4-way battle here.
I'll watch the Braun Power.
Rodriguez is also slowly maybe catching Hayes. Actually, funny enough, Power is actually keeping ahead of Saniga and close to Salfco, so he seems to be holding his own right now.
About 1 second behind the leader, and Suniga is about 2 seconds behind Power, so they're spread it out.
Malott looking for any type of gap he can find on Shez, but ooh, little bit wide by both Fossman and Hermione there. Craziness starting to form. We're not even 15 minutes into the race yet. Suniga always found quite a bit of time, so we're gonna go pop over to him. Oh, Stofko's actually gotten ahead. Like, Power's actually gotten ahead.
I did not see that happen.
I didn't see that happen either. It was quite surprising. So, Power is currently leading the race because I saw that Suniga was getting close to second. I'm like, oh, maybe he's catching up to Power. And nope, it is Power winning the race right now, followed by Stofko and Suniga. Rodriguez is right on the back of Hayes. No overtake. Oh my goodness, what an overtake! Oh, can he hold it? No, I don't think he can. An insane acceleration out of the first chicane by Rodriguez almost sees him get past Hayes. Hayes turns in while Rodriguez... That's a little bit of a sticky situation, and the stewards will definitely look at that post-race. As Braun and Polinick go side by side at post-chicane.
Looks like Braun really wants this. He's like, I'm not supposed to be battling with you, Polinick. I gotta move past.
Well, Polinick and Hayes aren't willing to give up their positions willingly. As Power is now going to, as we have a 3-way fight here. As Power now has to hold off Stofko and now Saniga. As Saniga has brought himself into this fight as well. So there's battles now starting to become all over the track.
Yeah, it looks like a small little mistake into that second chicane brought them all closer together.
Bobby and what is going on between Fossman, Malott, and Bobby? They're just group hugging over there. So we stick with the battle for first right now. Stofko on the back of Power. Saniga also trying to see what he can sniff in this fight. Power praying for a mistake, praying that Saniga and Stofko take themselves out so he can have this time, so he can have the first win in DRL history from one of the men not named Stofko or Saniga to himself. How much pressure do you think he's going through right now?
I think from what I know about Power, he's pretty cool and calculated. So I think what he's focusing on right now is maintaining his line and maintaining consistency. Because Stofko is gonna have to pass him on the inside of one of these corners. I don't think Power is gonna move to defend. He's just gonna try and maintain as much speed as possible.
He's doing a good job so far right now, but he might have some extra company in a few laps as Macklin and Castle are slowly starting to gain on this little situation up here.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now. They're about 2.5 seconds behind. We'll see if that closes as these battles continue.
Narati is currently between both McGavin and Hayes, but the problem is that he's a lap down. So he has to try. Oh, Stofko got a very quick acceleration out. Power seemed to have had a problem, but Stofko is on the inside as they are significantly side by side heading into the second chicane, and that is going to be Stofko taking the lead of this race once again. Reese goes into the box to pit.
And that just goes to show, like, these chicanes on this track are either time savers or time wasters. If you get a bad exit or entry into them, you will lose out.
A lot looking for an overtake opportunity on Bobby here. You can definitely find it into this before the turn 1 chicane. As now we have a 4-way fight here. Pop ourselves back. It is now a 4-way all-out battle between Stofko, Power, Saniga, and Macklin.
Macklin's catching up to this party. It's about 7/10 behind Suniga, so we'll see if Suniga starts looking into his rearview mirror a little bit more frequently.
Nairati passes his teammate Breeze in the pits. Malott currently on the back of Ricky Bobby's about 2/10.
And Braun is still stuck to the back of Polinick, about 3/10 now. Really, really pushing the bumper, like going on the inside.
Contact is made as they're going to head down to the run down to the first chicane. Polinick holding the advantage. I'm going to think about a sneaky move. Nope. Just hold on to it for right now. Try to get a better exit, but Polinick will still got the same.
Yeah, it looks like he overslowed the car to get a better exit out of the chicane. A little wide through that one. Looks like Polinick had a wiggle.
Well, it's still behind Bobby as we are about 3 minutes away from the halfway point. Suniga's still on Power, Macklin's still on Suniga, but Stofko's slowly starting to edge away from this field. Edge away from this fight.
Okay. Ooh, somebody just got, car 11 just got a drive-through, Fossman.
That would be for track limits. So
Yeah.
he will probably end up... Where's Nairati? Okay, he's behind, still in the middle, so he might be safe, but without having to take his pit stop, that's going to be a little bit brutal. And
Yeah, I'm not sure how long the pit stop is at Zolder. Exactly. It is kind of a long pit, but it's not as long as Misano.
Braun just can't get enough of Polinick's diffuser, it seems.
Yeah, they've been side by side multiple times. He's really trying to find that
Ooh, Polinick has a bit of a switch. That's
Yep,
going to allow
took a
Braun
lot
the
of
opportunity in the rundown into chicane number 2. As Braun backs out. But Polinick could have gotten track limits there. doesn't find it. Malott finally gets past Ricky Bobby, but it seems they're going to keep fighting it out right now. Ricky Bobby's actually going to get passed back through turn 2. They're going to keep fighting it out as I oh my goodness. Stop having
Braun is
battles
just
at the same
passing Palaniuk.
time. Braun and
Side by
Palaniuk
side.
are literally side by side heading into the third and final chicane. No one's going to back out of this. Little bit of a touch made. Braun looking to try and get a better exit than Palaniuk. They almost make contact once again as they go side by side across the line. No, Braun pulls into the slipstream because he can maybe think of an opportunity. He's going to try and go round the outside and then switch back to the in, but Palaniuk defends it well. As they head now down into turn 2, they are catching Fossman. They're catching Ace and they're catching quickly. Braun, thinking about going around the inside this time. Does he have enough of the sticking power to make it stick? And it looks like he's finally done so.
That was like 5 laps in the making right there.
Braun finally having seemingly gotten past Palaniuk. But I don't think Palaniuk's going to let this one die just yet.
Got some blue flag traffic for our leaders. Suniga is passing Fossman right now with Macklin hot on his heels.
Yeah, he's about 3/10, so there's definitely the chance for some overtaking, especially with the blue flag traffic. Ooh, Macklin having to try his best to get around Fossman here. Does so very well. The blue flag rule states that the blue flag driver must stay on the racing line and not defend. They just have to stick to the racing line, and so far that has produced wonders. As Ricky Bobby now heads into the pits to probably try and cover off Brees.
Yeah, that was a good move by Macklin, and also a good awareness by Fossman, seeing Macklin come in, go to the inside, and then allow him to pass safely.
So as it stands right now, nobody's in the 1 second gap right now, which is good, considering everything that has happened. So we are going to go into the replay booth and check what happened between Nairati and Hermione, because that's what got them down in the first place. Ooh, that might have been an advantageous lunge by Nairati there. I want to take another look, but from a different camera, because that might have been a very, very advantageous lunge from the number 32 driver. Yeah, and then he just has nowhere to go. So yeah, I have my own thoughts and opinions on that, as Stavko and Breeze actually make contact, I think. And that's going to allow Saniga to get past. And same with Macklin and Castle. Castle and Stavko are going to fight it out into turn 1, and Castle's actually going to get ahead. What happened there? We just came back.
I was not watching. I'm going to go check the replay on that one.
Yeah, check the replay as I stick on between Stavko and Castle. I don't think Stavko's going to be very pleased about that. That's actually going to probably benefit Power, because Power was heading into the pits. As Brees goes off and into the gravel. Brees just goes into the pits.
It looks like coming up to the final chicane, Stavko was on the inside and Malott was on the outside. Malott chooses to go into the pits, and it looks like Stavko maybe just missed his brake marker, ends up going off track a little bit, and then spins the car on throttle.
Did they make contact?
No,
it doesn't.
no contact at all.
There's no contact at all. What happened there, though? Because I just saw Brees was just in the gravel.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Brees, but there was no contact between either of them. It just
I don't see any contact on my board either. So I'll have to. I trust. This is what having an extra person in the booth does. That allows me that chance to figure out, okay, what just happened.
Malott just came out right in front of Suniga. That's kind of scary.
So it comes down now to where Suniga. It all comes down to where your teammate comes out. Your teammate's 11th. He's currently in free air, so he should gain a decent amount of time on that fresh set of tires. So now it's all about where he comes, like where Suniga, Macklin, and Castle, and Stavko all come out.
Yeah, it's saying he's about 1 minute 6 seconds behind the leader. He have a 30-second pit stop, and I really don't know how long the pit lane is on Zolder, but I'm gonna guess it's at least 35 seconds maybe. So he could have it. He could still maintain first on this.
Fossman and Stavko have a little bit of a tangle, but nevertheless they get by. Stavko chasing Castle. It's not a desperate chase, but as, oh my goodness,
Both dive into the pits.
Yep, Castle doesn't tag the wall this time, so that's good sighting.
That's good, yeah, practice.
Ron now looking to try and chase Hayes.
Both Macklin and Suniga opted to stay out, so we'll see how that...
So, Neil, we're missing some drivers.
Yeah, well, we were at 18 before, right?
I wonder who's missing.
Breeze is one of them.
And
Nairadi is the other.
Nairadi's game crashed.
No.
Oh no.
We keep telling him jokingly he needs to switch to pancake mode.
There's a whole bunch. Ooh, did Power come out ahead of them? Yes, they did. Power has come out ahead. Crucially, of both Stavko and Castle.
And looks like Shooter McGavin just got a drive-through
Shooter's
penalty.
gonna have a drive-through for. No, I think that's pit lane speed.
No, if it's pit lane speed, you get a stop and go 30.
Odd place to get track limits though. Didn't he just come out of the pits?
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at that.
Currently, Rodriguez is currently holding Chez and Hermani behind. Oh, according to Nairadi, it's a full PC crash.
Oh, wonderful.
So, Team on the Rush's disasters sadly continue.
I'm watching McGavin's pit lane entry right now. Doesn't look like he speeds.
I'm interested to see where Power comes out. I'm interested to see Suniga's pit stop. Because currently as it stands right now, Suniga hasn't left his pit box yet. There goes Suniga and Macklin both leaving their pit boxes, but it doesn't seem to matter as Power is ahead. And Power's ahead by about 4.2 seconds, so he just has to hold off. And Stavko's a little bit far behind right now.
I think you're right with Shooter McGavin. He did upshift a second in pits for like a brief second, went over the 50-kilometer speed limit, and they gave him a drive-through for that.
Oh my. It's going to be unfortunate for him as he tumbles down the order now. Thankfully, the closest competitor to him is Sean Chez, and he's quite a bit away. He's actually already served his drive-through, so he didn't lose very many positions. Actually, I lie. He's fallen down to 11th. As Polinik now going to be on the back of Rodriguez.
Yeah, Polinik's had some pretty good battles this race.
is having a little bit of a moment. Polinick going to try and take advantage of that. Liang's also approaching this battle very quickly. Macklin is also chasing Saniga, and Hermione is chasing Chez, but the more important story is Power. Power is currently leading a race with less than 17 minutes to go. Could he be the first driver not named Saniga or Stavko to win a race?
Looks like it. He's got a 5-second lead on Suniga at the moment, but Macklin could overtake Suniga and maybe catch up. We'll have to see.
Saniga did say it. Oh, something the driver went off there, but no, that was just an engine noise scaring the crap out of him. Liang is actually closer to Polinick than Polinick is to Rodriguez now, so Polinick's going to have to defend instead of engage. As Chez is going to get by Hermione. Well, Hermione might have had a bit of an off. Yep, he did. Just confirm that as Liam is going to get past Gavin. I would expect so. A little bit of a glitch in the system there. Quickly take a look at Macklin and Saniga as they're fighting it out for second place. Here's the thing though, Stavko's getting there. He's slowly gaining and gaining and gaining. He's gaining about 7/10 a lap.
And as it stands right now, Stavko is the purple lap holder at a 128.5. So
that was the fastest lap of the session.
Yeah.
That was actually a full second faster than both Saniga and Macklin.
Yeah, and he can even go faster than that. As we saw in qualifying, he can do like a 128. Was it 128.1? I think was his fastest qualification time.
As you see Power race off uphill in the distance. Saniga and Macklin following close behind, and Power's not going to give up this chase so easily. So we'll quickly look back at Hermione Chez. They're fighting it out again once more. And also, Polinick and Liang are starting to catch Rodriguez as well. Oh, Stavko's going to drive through!
Oh no.
Well, that's going to all but end that battle. Braun actually might gain a place. Stavko's track limit's coming back to haunt him.
Yeah, Braun might actually overtake Stavko in the pits now.
There's no Stavko speeding into the pits. Be careful. You don't want to take another penalty from speeding into the pit lane.
Or get a stop and go 30 and have
that would
go
be
into the pits again.
even worse. Castle's going to make it by Stavko. That's a given. So we'll take a look at Braun right now. Keeping an eye on Polinick and Hermione. They're not making overtakes right now.
If you want to watch Braun, I'll watch Stavko. He's going through the pits at the moment.
Braun actually had a little bit of a moment at the third chicane there through the second hand part of it. And he just crosses the finish line now.
Stavko is
just getting
just
to the pit
exiting
exit.
the pits.
And Braun is going to complete the overtake. Ooh, is he going to be able to stay ahead of Hayes?
I think he's got enough lead on him.
Barely.
Barely. He's just got to keep it clean for the next 12 minutes.
Hermione's actually gotten by Chez. So Chez is going to keep re-engaging now. As that gap that your Power had slowly decreasing.
Yeah, what was it, 5 seconds about 2 laps ago? It's now down to
currently
3.8.
Power's last lap on 29.3. Saniga's at 29.0. So he's about 0.3 a lap faster. Currently, as it stands right now, Hayes would take the Pro-Am race win, followed by Polinick and Liang. Chez and Fossman, 1-2 for the Party Pickles once again. And Ricky Bobby would take the third place spot. And in the Pro Division, overall, Power, Saniga, Macklin would be the top 3. Castle, man, where's that 12th place, man? Just pull over, put on your hazards, wait till you get into 12th, and then move on. I guess he took the sandbags out of his car.
I don't know if it's like a mental thing, like, oh, if I finish 12th, I'll be happy, and then like he gets 4th, he's like, I'm ecstatic.
I mean, I guess, but like at the same time, yeah. Ooh. Power's last lap, a 1:29.7. Saniga's a 1:28.9.
I don't like seeing that.
Is Power gonna run? Power's friend right now is the clock, and that clock is not ticking very quick.
No, but if he can maintain those 3 seconds, we'll keep an eye on it.
Currently at about 3.3, 3.4 right now.
But he's still outside of the 3-second gap.
Ooh, fastest lap overall by Saniga.
28.4, nice.
28.4 compared to a 29.1 by Power. So as the time ticks down, we're not even at 10 minutes yet. At this rate, I would predict probably within the next 3 or 4 laps.
We're gonna get a battle for first.
We're gonna get a battle for first. History on the line for Power. And he's gonna have to try and beat the runner-up of last season for it. The gap now already down to 2 seconds. As Polinick loses out to Polinick's he's at a scary place to be off. What happened there? Oh, he just had a little bit of a spin out and slammed the front end of his car into the wall. So he might have a little bit of damage, so he might need to go for some repairs.
Oh yeah, the front hood of his car is flapping. He needs to take that in.
Stavko getting ready now to get Braun. Stavko does another invalidation. Could he get another drive-through? Ooh, that might be another invalidation there.
If he racks up 4 of them, yeah, that's another drive-through.
I think Stavko's starting to overdrive his car here. He's snapping the oversteers and stuff.
Yeah, it's usually like heavy foot. You usually get snap oversteer. Like there, that's where he lost it last time too.
Hayes is going to start catching up quite quickly here, but I think Stavko's going to have the time. Oh, maybe not.
He's got the overspeed on him. Let's see if he can... Nope, he's going to safely hold back.
Saniga already now in within the 1 second.
Yeah, I just saw it pop up as less than a second. Ooh, Gavin approaching the young.
8 minutes left to go. This will be the most stressful 8 minutes Power will ever have so far yet.
I think the start of the race was pretty stressful too.
Looking for Leon here.
He's got the pace. His last lap was a 1:29.8 and Leon's was a 1:39, so he does have the pace for it.
Oh, absolutely. Are we gonna have a little bit of a late drama? Any more drive-throughs? There won't be any more stop and goes, but
that is one thing that I don't get from this, is I can't tell how many track limit violations a certain driver has, so it's hard to say.
looking at that timing chart, seeing that gap 1.1. Alright, what is Leon's lap going to be? 1:30. Oh, okay, Leon was technically faster that lap. McGavin knows he can get past Leon. There's innocent. They're fighting technically for a podium, but just like second versus third. And they pretty much all but have it locked. Polinick is 20 seconds behind.
Yeah, I'm just watching McGavin's exit on that last corner. He's definitely carrying more speed than Leon, but he can't get side by side yet to really make it count. I'm really watching Zuniga's gap
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
watching that gap slowly increase and decrease and increase and decrease. And it's actually it's gotten within a second now. It's stayed there. So with 6 minutes left to go, Power's just got to do his best to hold on.
Stay consistent.
With lap times in the minute 30s, he's still got at least 4 laps to go.
Well, last lap, Zuniga did a 129.3 and Power did a 129.4, so if they can keep that up, he should be able to maintain the lead, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Shez off to the right.
The next back marker traffic they will approach is the Latvian sensation up in 12th. So we'll switch over to this battle. The gap now falls down to 0.5. Thankfully, unlike in F1, there is no DRS here, as both drivers have invalidated their laps. So could we see some track limits drama here with 5 minutes now left to go?
Zuniga just took a little too much curb on that last chicane. Bounced the car, got a little bad exit.
Showed in the lap time. Man, that Honda engine sounds weird.
You think it sounds weird?
Yeah, it sounds weird to me because I haven't heard it yet. So Iga is caught up quite massively as they head into the first chicane.
Yeah, it's one thing about the Honda is its straight line speed is pretty good. That was a good exit by Zuniga.
Oh, chicane 2 is where we've seen a few overtakes. Zuniga electing to not do it here. He is right on the back of Power. Closer than he's ever been before. 4 minutes left to go.
This is one thing that Zuniga is going to have to be careful of is when you follow that close to another car, you start getting aero wash, and the downforce that you get from having a higher rear wing usually lose out on that, so you have to be a little more patient at the throttle.
This is the closest battle. It is the only battle right now. Power looks like he got at least a half decent enough exit to defend. However, Siniga's so used to seeing Stavko. Siniga right on the back of him. Ooh, it goes a little wide, but not enough that it actually mattered.
And then Hermione just stays off to the left, like, I'm not in this.
Nope, not my pick, not my farm. As that will be it for back marker traffic for the rest of the race. So Power's got no help. It's just him and Saniga alone in the dead of night in Zolder. As the
Crazy angry Honda biting at his heels.
As the seconds tick down, they must feel like an eternity for Power, knowing Saniga's right on your diffuser, knowing any mistake, one wrong, even braking 2 meters early could result in you losing this race. Saniga elects not to dive up the inside, but wait behind, wait for this straight. Wait for the third chicane and try and get a better exit. 2 minutes left to go. Power might have gotten the better exit, but that straight line speed, as you said, of that Honda might come into play. Not just yet. Power holds off. They will have one more lap after this.
Yeah, we got two more laps.
So the checker flag will not come. Oh, Saniga goes a little bit wide, but manages to stay out of the grass. Neither driver's dipping a tire into the gravel. They all hold form right now. Leung is within a second of Rodriguez, but there's no threat to that right now. The threat currently stands as the race win, as Saniga looks like he's gotten a much better exit, but Power seems to have done just enough to defend. Ooh, Saniga right on the back. Just Power, can he find a little bit more? Can he dig a little deep? What a beautiful 44 car behind them. Absolutely, the Mercedes. Oh, Saniga thinking about the switchback, but Power blocks it. Power
put his car in the middle of the track to block Suniga from making that inside line.
Power, the final lap of the race. Saniga takes a little bit of extra curb there on exit, so that'll hurt his rundown. But that's straight line speed of the Honda.
Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
Leader is on the final lap. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Saniga, Power. Power, Saniga. Power needing to find a little bit more. Can he push it to the max? As Saniga gets right on his diffuser. Can it be any tighter? Stofko's going to get closer to Braun and Leung's going to get closer to Rodriguez. But this is it. This is history. As Saniga has a little bit of a snap, but still stays within striking distance. As they head now down into the first chicane. Can this get any tighter? Can this get any closer? Power seems to
It was
hold.
an expert defense from Power there, placing his car right at the apex, basically blocking Suniga from using his overspeed to make that overtake.
So they come into second chicane. Power defends, and he keeps hold. Saniga has a little bit of a snap of the rear, but there's still half the track to go. As Saniga gets dangerously close, what's Power gonna do? Power's gonna defend the inside, put himself right in the middle, as Saniga's gonna go around the outside, and he's gonna hold form as they're gonna go side by side. This is gonna get as close as it can get physically, as Saniga's gonna hold the inside, Power's gonna hold the outside, as they both are late on the brakes, and it looks like Saniga is gonna take the win of this race away from Power on the last lap. Saniga wins in Zolder. Power takes second. Heartbreak, as history will not get its moment.
Your hopes and dreams, Tyler, have been smashed.
Macklin will finish third. Castle will finish fourth. Braun will finish fifth. Oh, never mind. They're actually going to go side by side here. Oh my goodness. Stofko's going to take the inside. Braun's going to take the out. Stofko forces Braun. And Stofko's actually going to take fifth despite a drive-through penalty. Braun finishes sixth. Just when I thought that wasn't going to change. Young, can he maybe get past Rodriguez on the exit? Nope, not even close. As that's going to complete that. McGavin crosses the line, and it's all now down to Polinick and Bobby. Bobby, in no man's land. He'll still pick up a podium position after everything that has happened. What a finish. Polinick and Malott get close together, but it doesn't matter, as that is the end of the race. An exciting thriller to end it all. Saniga takes the win away from Power on the final corner. Macklin and Castle finish 3-4 for the Sandbag Syndicate. Great start for them. Stofko rounds out the top 5 despite having the drive-through. Braun, Hayes, Rodriguez, Leon, McGavin finish out the top 10. Polonic, Hermione, Ches, Fossman, Bobby round out the 15s. Malott finishes 16th. Nairati, Breeze, both having disconnect issues, finished 17th and 18th. Unfortunate for them. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. Neil, thank you so much for joining us in the broadcast booth. It was an absolute honor to have you around.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Join us next week where we go to Imola, where the conditions are wet and racing will be much more interesting. Thank you very much and have a good night.